Hi, my name is Stan, the Annuity Man, America's Annuity Agent, licensed in all 50 states. I am so happy to be here, and I'm so happy that you're here. Pros and cons of fixed index annuities? Yes, there's cons to fixed index annuities. I know you're saying, all I've heard about is just the good stuff, Stan, the Annuity Man, America's Annuity Agent. I understand that, but with all contracts, there's good and bad. There's limitations and benefits. There's pros and cons. There's all that stuff. We're going to go over all of it today, which is great, but not until I hear music? All right, so let's talk about the history of fixed index annuities. Yes, there's a history, and I'm your annuity professor, in addition to being Stan the Annuity Man, America's Annuity Agent. So let's talk about fixed index annuities. In 1995, they were first introduced to compete with CD returns, not stock market returns, CD returns, certificate of deposit. Now, in today's environment, the returns are in that multi-year guarantee annuity range. Multi-year guarantee annuity is the annuity industry's version of a CD. But I know that's not what you've heard in the Bad Chicken Dinner seminars and all the pitches, and when you go in and you tell your agent or advisor, I've got a sprained ankle and my throat hurts a little bit and I really don't feel good. What do you think I should do? And the guy goes, you should buy an index annuity. No, it's not a one size fits all. It's a CD product, just CD. I'm going to keep saying that until it hammers into your head. I know that's not what you've heard. You've heard things like market upside with no downside, market participation with principal protection. Remember, if it sounds too good to be true, it is every single time with annuities, no exceptions. Annuities are contracts. Fixed index annuities are contracts. Fixed index annuities are not securities. They're fixed annuities issued by life insurance companies at the state level. In order to sell an indexed annuity, you have to pass a state life insurance exam and score 70 in most cases. That doesn't mean it's bad. That doesn't mean the people that are selling it's bad. I'm just saying the bar is pretty low in order to hold the Bad Chicken Dinner seminar and do a one-size-fits-all indexed annuity pitch. Now, you go to the Bad Chicken Dinner seminar, and I guess, at the time of this taping, COVID has shut that down, which is there's one positive thing about COVID, only one. That's it. No more Bad Chicken Dinner seminars. That's great. Now, I'm sure when COVID lifts, steak dinner, chicken dinners, pasta, the whole thing. But it's not a one-size-fits-all. Just remember this. If there was a product that could give you market upside with full principal protection, then that's all the Fed should buy. Nod your head. Absolutely. Does it some years give you some market-type returns? Yes, but the blended return, that's blended. That's the visual for blended. It's going to be around CD rates. And since introduction in 1995, that's been the rate of return, and that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Now, you go to the Bad Chicken Dinner seminar and they say, hey, you can get an upfront bonus with your index annuity. We're going to give you free money. You can't be that dumb now. You just can't. You can't be the rube at the table. You can't be the sucker at the table. There's not a philanthropist at an annuity company giving away free money. And just take this the right way. But if you're buying an annuity, an index annuity for the bonus, that's candy for the stupid. And I don't want you to be stupid. I got a call the other day. My friend Chester and his wife Martha, he's like, there's guys trying to sell me an index annuity, 10% upfront bonus. That sounds like a good deal. Chester, you know better than that. Martha, you know better than that. Those are my fictitious people, but I get those calls all the time. Be careful when people are pitching index annuities. So let's talk about the pros and cons. Let's talk about the pros of an indexed annuity. Fixed annuity, you're not going to lose any money. That's good. Like that. Second thing, when you do get a gain, whatever that CD type gain is, it locks in permanently, never to go below. Give you an example. One year you might get 3.5%. It locks in at 3.5%. The next year, market goes into toilet. You're still at 3.5%. So the next year, the following year, you're going to start at that locked-in rate. So you're just kind of stair-stepping up. That's a good thing. So principal protection and lock in the gains. The other thing that I think is very important in a pro with index annuities, in the way that Stan the Annuity Man, America's Annuity Agent, licensed in all 50 states, uses index annuities primarily as a delivery system for the income rider. Okay, Stan, what's an income rider? Income rider is an attached benefit to an indexed annuity that guarantees a future lifetime income stream. That's a good thing. And that's how we use them. So that's kind of the pros. Kind of a brief overview. What are the cons? The cons of the sales pitch. The con is, Mr. Jones, if you'd have owned it 10 years ago, here are the returns that you would have received. In some states, that's illegal to do. I wish it was in all states, but I'm going to tell you, you can't believe the hype. You can't believe it. And when people call me and say, 7, 9% return, give me a break. Come on. These are annuities. I mean, you're not going to get those type of returns. Stop believing the hype that's being sold. Here's the other one, and here's one that no one's going to tell you. When you buy an index annuity, and typically you can buy in all kinds of durations, duration meaning surrender charge time periods, typically it's 7 to 10 years. All right? So you have a 7 to 10 year surrender charge time period, meaning if you get your money out during those time periods, you have to pay a surrender charge if you get more than that 10% free withdrawal. But here's where the rubber meets the annuity road. I guess it's the annuity rubber meets the annuity road. Yeah, that's it. When you buy a 10-year surrender charge, as an example, and you have a 1-year call option guarantee on that spreads, caps, participation rates, all that stuff, okay? In essence, what are you buying? You're buying a 10-year surrender charge period with a 1-year guarantee. And there are some 1-year options, 2-year options, 3-year options. The bottom line is the annuity company can change those caps, spreads, and participation rates at their discretion without talking to you or without talking to the number one agent in the country if you bought it from me. That's a con. I mean, that's not con like con artists, but that's a negative, right? That's a negative to the policy. The other negative is you're going to be expecting market returns and you're going to get MYGA CD type returns. That's a negative. But the biggest negative, in my opinion, is what's called that 10-year surrender charge with the 1-year guarantee, which means that what's very important are renewal rates. And I did a podcast on this. I do all this stuff. I did a video on this. Renewal rates is that second year and that third year and that fourth year and that fifth year and sixth year and seventh and 10th, what that company is going to set the participation rates, caps, and spreads. So in a nutshell, that's kind of the pros and cons of indexed annuities. So I'm going to ask a couple questions because I ask good questions, but they're the ones that are in the back of your head. So I'm going to pull them out. Can you lose money in a fixed indexed annuity? Short answer, no, you can't. It's a fixed annuity. And that's one of the pros of a fixed indexed annuity because market goes in the toilet, market volatility. And by the way, at the time of this taping, markets are like skyrocketing up. Now, I'm an old curmudgeon. I used to work for Dean Witter and Payne Weber and UBS and Morgan Stanley. They call it Morgan Stanley. I used to work for all those places, so I remember stock market volatility. A lot of advisors out there have never seen a down market. Trust me on this one. Trust Stan the Annuity Man, America's Annuity Agent, lies in all 50 states. Markets are gonna go down sometime, all right? Here's the good news. This is not gonna go down. Index annuity is not gonna go down. That doesn't mean it's a replacement for bonds or stock market or mutual funds. It's not, okay? It's not a security. Remember that. Remember that. So the other question, another good question coming from me, but it's in the back of your head, so I'm going to pull it out. Are annuities safe? Are fixed index annuities safe? Are fixed index annuities safe? Safe meaning, I don't want to lose any money, Stan. You've already told me that if market goes down, I'm not losing money. But that's not what I'm talking about, Stan. I'm talking about the carrier. What happens if the carrier goes out of business? What happens to my money? Good question. I'm glad you asked that. Safety with fixed index annuities is not only the safety of the principal with the product, the strategy, but you have to choose a good company that can back up those claims. Now, because I have the pedigree and so many years of experience, decades and decades and decades and decades, I'm going to help you choose that company. I am going to tell you when you shouldn't put money with a company. My rear end, which I'm not going to show you, is on the line. Okay? So when you say, well, you're just going to sell it to... No, I'm not. My rear end's on the line, so I'm going to tell you a couple of things when you buy an index annuity. A, do I think they can back up the claims? Have I looked at their bond holdings, their solvency ratio, their financials? Have I looked at that? You're dang right I have. The other thing, too, have you looked, Stan the Annuity Man, America's Annuity Agent, at the renewal rates you just yelled at me about? Yes. So I'm going to do both of those for you. So when you go to my site, theannuityman.com, and schedule a call and request a fixed index annuity quote, which we will get to because we quote pretty much all carriers for the highest contractual guarantee, and in the fixed annuity world, the highest renewal rates. I'm going to step into that conversation when we have it, and I'm going to say, don't buy this one, buy that one, don't buy this one, buy that one. This is my opinion. That's what separates me from everyone else. You're not going to talk to some 30-year-old. You're going to talk to someone with 30 years in the business, all right? So when you call other places, it's like, hey, how you doing? I'm Johnny Wonderful, and I just started here. No, I'm not Johnny Wonderful. I'm not going to be your friend. I'm going to be the best advisor you've ever had, and when it comes to fixed index annuities, I need you to talk to me because you cannot buy the dream because you're going to own the contractual reality. 3 last things before we go. Number 1, go to my site, theannuityman.com, and get my book on fixed indexed annuities. I'll ship it to you for free and under no obligation. Stay at my site after you order the book and schedule a call with me, Stan the Annuity Man, America's Annuity Agent, licensed in all 50 states. And last but not least, hit the subscribe button. See you next time.